Wake up and let's go to the Mindless Morning Show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. I'm here with my co-host, Dakota, and we're also here with an absolute legend, and we're very honored to be in your presence, but Jon Butcher. You have done like some incredible musical stuff where you have gone through the ranks in the 80s, and like I don't want to say this in the wrong way. It's almost appeared as if like you were fairly underrated in your time, and I mean you got a new album coming out, and like you changed almost your style of music, and it has been absolutely phenomenal how you've adapted. But first off, how are you doing today?
And I'm doing good for someone living on planet Earth. We all know the world has changed and changed again, so I'm doing okay, all things considered.
Yeah,
I'm glad to. I'll tell you what. I'm glad to begin playing again. I took a forced 13 months off, like every other musician I know.
Yeah,
and I'm happy to see the end of that.
But during those 13 months, I mean, you were still staying busy in the background, right?
Oh yeah, I started a movie company, which I'm really proud of. I've been doing my own videos for years. And so I just expanded it to other artists who don't have, corporate deep pockets. The movie company is called Watercolors. And what we do is specialize in mini movies for artists, for musicians who have a message that they want to get out and don't have $30,000 to throw at a music video.
Right. I mean, I don't have that kind of money lying around.
No, man. Hey, listen, I did my share of MTV music videos, right? And I don't want to say that money was wasted, but you could go to YouTube right now and look at one of my videos called Holy War, and it's like, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I'm happy I did it, but that's a lot of money down the tubes, and after I paid my record company back, I sort of scratched my head and I wondered, was it all worth it? So I'm doing my own movies now, guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's very awesome. And so all the music videos from Jon Butcher Axes, those are all yours?
Yeah. I started doing my own about 12 years ago.
Oh, okay.
10 to 12 years ago. But the early stuff is all big budget, Capitol Records, corporate deep pockets.
Well, I've seen your Special Day one and Devil Eyes, and that
Devil's Train.
Devil's Train.
Yeah, that's okay.
And those are both very, like, those seem like really very good, high quality, like big budget movies. So I mean,
listen, I appreciate you saying that. I think they're good. But what they're not is, prohibitively expensive. Most of the working musicians that I know, the guys that are still touring, they don't have the kind of money to invest in just that aspect of your promotion career. And so I really felt like we were, finding and establishing a niche that I was happy to fill. I enjoy doing it anyway. I've always liked working in movies and television. And so I'm able to apply all of that stuff that I loved to, my COVID career, and it just sort of took off.
Right.
Yeah. That's super cool.
I get that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, COVID has definitely put a lot of things on hold, but it's made the outcome, once all is said and done, look really, really cool, because, I mean, so many musicians have been just pumping stuff out and getting things ready. And I mean, your work clearly speaks for it. We've been listening to your stuff all day today, and it's incredible.
Excellent.
Yeah. It was one of those things where I started looking you up, and I realized that I didn't realize how much I'd actually heard your music growing up, because my dad was way into that music, and that's what I was listening to.
We got an early start. My first big break was with the Jay Giles Band Freeze Frame tour.
Yeah.
You know, when that record came out, it was ginormous, right? I mean, we played, well, let me back up. We were offered 3 dates at the Boston Garden, and it was a gift. Chris Martin, my bass player, and I were sitting in a cold apartment in Cambridge, Massachusetts, without enough money to buy heat. And the phone rang, and it was Peter Wolf, who asked us if we wanted to, you know, open up for the Giles Band for 3 nights in a row. I didn't have to check my schedule.
Right. You're like, I'm going to do that.
I mean? I was available.
Right.
So we did those 3 dates, and they were sensational. And the rest is history. The band asked us to do the rest of the tour, which was 70 cities around the United States. And it was the best thing that happened to me. And it was really the kickoff of everything.
Nice. That was super cool. And I mean, you've had a very extensive career and many accomplishments. What would you say is like your grand accomplishment in it all?
I don't know. I think I might be the worst guy to ask. Well, because all of the things that guys like me, journeyman musicians, go through, all have their own special moments. They really do. It would be impossible. I mean, you know, I could choose maybe when I met Jeff Beck and did the Ambitious video with him, or when I worked with B.B. King at the Hollywood Bowl, and it goes on and on like that. There's a number of things that were so special, and I was so blessed to be a part of that would be really hard to pick one.
So what would you say was your favorite if you could pick one? Which one would you want to do again, I guess?
Jeff Beck, the guitarist, is one of my favorite musicians ever. He's probably the best living guitar player that I can think of. And I would love to have another opportunity to interact with him, to play with him again. And it's those things that make careers magic. You know, I could have never been able to look in the future and foresee that was going to be a thing. And it was. You guys, after we're done, look at the Ambitious video on YouTube, and you'll see what I mean. It's funny. What's the guy's name that was in DePlane, Boss, DePlane? Some old 60s series.
I know who
Fantasy
you're
Island.
talking about.
That's it, Fantasy Island. Check it out when you get a chance. The video's called Ambitious, and it's a lot of fun.
Will do, for sure.
Yeah. So I guess kind of going off that a little bit, were there any big inspirations or anybody that influenced you for your music career? And
sure, man.
Did you get a chance to like work with any of them besides?
No, I never. My influences were wide. I was influenced by Bob Dylan and Jimi Hendrix, and I don't know. I think John Lennon. Everybody that people of my age group were influenced by, I was too. And I think we all took that in, and it came out of us in our own personal ways. You know, when I listen to my guitar playing, I personally hear Beck all over it, you know, when I'm doing a solo. That's what I hear. Other people might not, but that's what I hear. And so he's a big influence in the way I play guitar now.
Nice. That's really cool.
I mean, you definitely have the talent of a great guitarist, but also a really, really good lyricist.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you for saying that. I have to tell you something though. I hated my voice when I did my first 2 records. No, really, I hated it. I was so embarrassed, and I felt like here's the thing.
That's crazy.
I know. I shouldn't say that because those 2 records were pivotal and instrumental and important to a lot of my fans. But from my perspective, all I could hear was a guy who could barely sing, and I was working with an English producer in Monmouth, South Wales, who didn't understand why we got signed by the label to begin with. We were a really good live band. Really good. And so I felt like the 2 first records don't reflect how powerful a trio it was live. I felt they were a little sedated and a little subdued. And I'm appreciative of Life Takes a Life and my MTV video career when that took off with that video. But still, I see the flaws and I hear the immaturity. And that's why I'm so happy about and proud of the record Special Day. I feel like finally I learned how to do it. I finally figured out how to sing and how to write a song that conveyed what it was I was thinking and feeling. And those are important milestones to musicians. So I'm really proud of that record. And I'm also proud of my early career, but it's just, for me, it's a little hard to listen to me sing.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, at first, when I started podcasting, it was the same way I listened to myself, and I was like, "Oh man, that's me talking."
Yeah. Well,
So,
imagine listening to yourself 10 songs on an album.
yeah, I was gonna say, I can,
please,
I can imagine it's probably.
Please don't let anybody hear this. No, wait, let everybody hear it. No, wait, don't let anybody hear it.
Yeah, well, I can say from listening to your stuff back then to what you have now on Special Day, I'm like, man, he could rap, he could sing in a metal band. It seems like he could do it all with how your voice sounds, man. It sounds really good.
Thanks. The record Special Day is varied stylistically, but all of those things, all of those influences, you know who I really like? I really like Peter Gabriel, because when you think of him, there's no particular, that's the Peter Gabriel style. It's varied. He is adept at covering a lot of musical ground. Well, I think that's great. I admire that. And so I've always wanted to make records that conveyed the wide area of my interests and my abilities to play and write. And I think Special Day does that great. It's not disoriented. It's just wide stylistically.
Yeah. And for anybody that's listening out there, not to just kind of keep pushing it, but if you haven't, I would definitely recommend listening to it. I'm going to put some songs on my playlist that I've already listened to because I really did enjoy it. And it's great stuff. So.
The record release date is June 15th, which is just in a few days.
Hey, it's my birthday.
Is it really?
It is.
I timed it that way on purpose. I knew that.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah.
June 15th is a release date, and on that day, it'll be available everywhere.
Well, I will definitely be getting it because the first two songs blew me away. I was like, this is my jam.
Cool, dude. Yeah. I love hearing that. Excellent.
Yeah, I showed it to my girlfriend too, and she turned and looked at me, and she's like, "Whoa, this is really good." And I was like, "I know."
I'm so happy to hear that, and I'm happy I played a small part in your relationship.
Yeah, it brought us closer together.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, tell us a little more about like watercolors and when you started that up, and where you plan to keep going with that.
As I was telling you, I really like film and television. I mean, from a kid, I really felt the magic of that art form, and so that's always been with me. So when COVID hit, I didn't ask myself, "Well, what am I going to do now?" I knew what I was going to do. I was going to devote more time to developing this company, and it's really important to me because I realized that, today, if your message isn't viewable on video, in other words, you don't have a message. And so a lot of guys like me who are, again, journeyman musicians who are able to tour and make a living from music, but not able to afford investing a lot of money into promotional tools like videos that everybody needs. You need these things. It's not as if we all have a choice to not be visible on the internet. And I felt like it was serving two masters. It was allowing me to be creative without being able to tour. And it also gave me a vehicle to speak and to do the things and say the things that I want to say in ways that didn't depend on me getting on a stage.
So do you prefer live performances, or you're kind of done with it, or?
No, not really. I mean, I'm ramping up for touring in fall right now.
Oh,
I was gonna say. I hope not, because man, I'd love to see you live.
No, dude, I really enjoy playing live, and we're going to do the United States behind Special Day for sure. It's just that it's traveling is hard. Mm-hmm. Playing is easy. Right, that's 75 minutes at the most of my day when I'm touring. 75 minutes. The rest of the hours, 23, 22 and change, are spent traveling. Getting on a commercial flight, losing my luggage, sitting in the middle seat.
All the stuff that Hollywood doesn't talk about.
Dude, it gets old. It does. I mean, I did it a lot for since I was 20, and now I enjoy those aspects of it less. I still like the playing, and I still like meeting fans. That's my most fun thing, to meet people who found me and make a connection with them in person. But just the conveyance of touring is not that groovy.
So are you coming to Florida by any chance? Specifically Orlando?
Yes, Orlando, St. Petersburg, and Miami. And I'll let you know when the dates are.
You're in Kansas?
Oh, yeah, we're going to hit everywhere. Dude,
yeah.
You'll be sick of me. It's like if you Google me, it's more information about me than you ever wanted to know, right?
I mean, I tried looking up this celebrity the other day to find out her nationality, and I could find her bra size, her shoe size, how tall she is, all this information I didn't want. But I couldn't find that one simple bit of info. I was like, all right, whatever. So,
that surprises me.
It was the same thing with John when I started Googling him.
If you Google me, you'll find my shoe size and the other sizes easily.
So you say like meeting people is like one of your favorite parts. Have you had any like crazy groupies or any wild stories there?
Oh, guys.
I figured there was probably at least one.
Come on. I mean, look at me. Okay. Let's say it this way. I have done most of the things that young musicians do when they are allowed the freedom of expression, no matter where they go, right?
Yep.
That having been said, that is far in my rearview mirror. I'm really, I hate to tell you this, but I'm really boring. I go to bed early, especially if we're touring. I'm in bed early. After the show, I get up early, and I like to exercise and eat healthy and do all the things that don't make for fun interviews, but do make for a healthy body and a healthy mind. So
that's what matters, right?
Yeah, that's more important than just fun interviews. Honestly, really fun though. I mean, I got.
So everybody can go to sleep right now. Is that?
All right, guys. Well, that's our show.
I was talking to
So, how was you had mentioned touring with the Jay Giles band, but you also toured with Johanna Wild.
Oh, that was the first. That was my hot local band. If you're in a city and you're growing up, and playing music in the early 80s, you'd be really lucky to get into a local band who's able to sell out clubs and have people around the block. And that was Johanna Wild. That was my first experience at what it would be like to be famous, because we'd never toured. It was a local band in Massachusetts. We'd never made a record. I think we had a tape that we recorded and gave to the radio station in Boston, WBCN. But we didn't do things on a national level. But having said that, it was still fun for me to feel how fun it was to have people interested in you and to come and buy a ticket and to see all that firsthand. It was great.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
So,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, out of all of the songs that you've made, do you have like a favorite or a least favorite song?
No, I really don't. And the reason why is I realize as a writer, all of the things that I have written had a reason for being written by me. There was something that was important for me to say, right? So all of those things, it's like having a favorite thought, I really don't. I don't have a favorite and I don't have a least favorite. They're all sort of my children, all the songs I've written, and they're a reflection of me as a human being, as an artist. I feel like I've gotten better at it as time goes on. Like you listen to the songs on Special Babe, for instance. I feel like I figured out how to do it right instead of how to do it wrong.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, that's awesome. It makes the music even better when it has that behind it. So, and you can hear it and feel it too. So,
and I also think it makes it, my whole focus these days is to just be a better human being. And I don't mean that in the trite sense. I mean, really trying to be a better Jon than I was last year or the year before or the year before. That's really my focus. And the music is a byproduct of that.
That's true. So would you think that the pandemic helped like expedite the freelance field as most musical artists began to look for online platforms to express themselves?
No question about it. Yeah. There's no question in my mind that if there was a silver lining to such a terrible event, that was it. For artists, it was the bandwidth to not have to run. I didn't realize how busy I was and how many plates I had in the air until it all came to a crashing halt. Right. And at first it was scary, like, now what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. And I just turned that channel and realized I just had to just do what I do in the ways that didn't depend on playing live gigs. You know what I mean?
Right.
There is a lot of fulfillment for me in watercolors. There's a lot of fulfillment in me in recording. I still enjoy that very much.
Right. I mean, not only have you done all of that for yourself, but you've given other upcoming artists or people that don't have that option that same outlet and freedom to do it,
No question about it. And so I think that's a good thing. I think as we come out of the pandemic, you're going to see, and I know you guys have already probably talked to people who have done a record during that time or produced a movie or any number of things that are creative that they sort of downshifted and realized, I'll just do this now. And for me, it worked out in a big way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm excited to see the rest of that album and more so.
Me too.
I'm very excited and very hopeful to see like watercolors really take off and do some great things.
I hope so. As I mentioned, the release date of the record is June 15th, and you'll be able to buy it online anywhere you like. And pretty soon, within a week of that, I'll have hard copies for those that want an autographed record and that sort of thing. And then, absolutely, sure.
I was like, please.
No worries, guys. You're in. And then, of course, there's summer shows that I'm going to do and leading into the fall. So it's an exciting time for me. I'm looking forward to seeing fans in person again. And I'm really looking forward to playing live again.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
When you come to Orlando and if I buy a VIP ticket, are you going to fall asleep?
Yes.
Okay.
No, hell no. Forget it. We're going to give you the VIP treatment. That's what we're going to do to you two guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll fly to Orlando, or we can go to both shows in Orlando.
We'll work it out.
We can be in the middle if there's anywhere in between. So with all the crazy amount of stuff you got going on, what is it that you do in your free time, if you have any?
Besides sleep.
I don't know if I look at it, free time is like time where I'm not doing what it is I want to do anyway. I mean, I don't think I have free time.
So instead of free time, when you're not making
when I'm not doing
music, on watercolor, stuff like that.
Well, my wife and I just got 2 new kittens in our household. So we have 2 young babies tearing up the curtains. That's a wonderful thing.
That's great.
And when the pandemic started, we started a garden in the backyard. I thought that was fantastic to grow your own food.
Absolutely. I saw that Instagram.
And so I'm doing stuff like that. I'm doing human stuff.
Speaking of that Instagram, we saw a picture of you with some screws in your ankle.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
What's the story on that?
Listen to that. A year and a half ago, I went out of my front door and slipped on the ice. And just the right way to break my ankle in 2 places, right? Thus began the adventure of my life. Surgery and recovery. The recovery was long. In fact, I'm still recovering from it. So I guess the moral of the story is do whatever you can not to slip on the ice.
To not slip on the ice.
Absolutely.
No, don't do that.
And I know we're running short on time here, unfortunately. We definitely want to have you back because
I would love to come back and talk to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. It's been amazing having you. And we'll have all the links for your website, watercolors, everything.
I love it.
Especially Instagram. Go check out their amazing cauliflower that they've grown. Looks beautiful.
Absolutely.
And then go see his x-ray because it's pretty gruesome.
It's pretty cool looking.
But and for our listeners, this episode, it's actually coming out on the 16th. So those listeners, album's already out. Go buy it.
The album's out. Yes.
Check it out.
Yes. Download it today.
Absolutely. And definitely you won't regret it. It is... I mean, I would buy the whole album just for the 2 songs I've already heard. So, I mean...
I think you're going to love it, guys. I really do.
Oh, I know.
It's like every time a new song comes on, you'll be sitting there waiting to hear what it sounds like because it's going to sound different than the last, right?
And I finally learned how to sing.
Oh, man.
So it's all good.
We're not selling that. You already knew that.
In your mind. He's been singing great for a while now.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for having me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
This morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you're always welcome back. And thank you so much for your time. It's been a real true pleasure to be able to sit down and speak with you.
Thanks very much, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Have a good one.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Mindless Morning Show. We appreciate you picking us out of the many great podcasts out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell to get notified whenever we release a new episode or bonus content. Now go enjoy the rest of your mindless day.